You go to sleep on the 31st of December 2020 and wake up the next day, but when you check your phone, it says January 1st 2020. After the first couple of days you realize it's just like Groundhog Day. What do you do with the information you have about 2020? This is the canonical explanation for the TP hoarders. Don't have sex with so and so because they have herpes. Sell all the stocks in February and buy Tesla calls in March. Start a Twitch YouTube channel that predicts 2020 accurately and have everyone think I'm Nostradamus. I would go to the doctor in early January to check on my kidneys. Maybe we could save them. IDK, cry, invest, reset, repeat. I'm gonna be real sad because I just spent the year losing a ton of weight and I don't want to start over. Get a haircut in February. All of these saddening comments make me realize just how much I've taken this year in my life so far for granted. The saddest story I have for this year is losing my best dog friend I grew up with. Heartbreaking, yes, but nothing like some of the stories I've read on here. I hope losing my dog is the saddest story of 2020 I'll have to share, and hopefully the saddest for many years to come. Wish you all the best, fellow Reddit nerds. I'd probably go to California and just tell a couple what gender their kid would be. I can't stop a pandemic, but I can halt a wildfire. Edit. Thank you everyone for the awards. Much appreciated. Tell Nevada to start counting mail-in ballots before the election day. I'd sit my brother down, tell him how much I love him, and hug him till my arms give out. I'd tell him how much I miss when we were kids and spent every day together. He was my twin born 2 years late, and I'd give up everything to see him again. I would beg him not to go out that night. I would schedule a camping trip and we'd have so much fun. Say or ess it, here we go again. Invest in Zoom, toilet paper, hand sanitizer. Hang out with people while I still can. Not take the little things for granted. Spend more time with my friends that killed themselves. I know I won't be able to save them, but I won't have all the regrets I have now. Off to New Zealand. Spend much more time with my old kitty that passed away on January 2nd, and with my old doggo that passed away in September. And spoil them with their favorite treats and lots of fun toys. I miss them so much. This year's been rough. Well, the cancer was probably already terminal, so I'd just try to see my mom before all the flights were cancelled. Show my husband just how much I love him and appreciate him. Hug him longer, kiss him harder, squeeze his warm hands, laugh with him, record his voice, take more pics of him and of us together, not sweat the small stuff, be silly with him, savor every meal he made me, stare into his eyes and marvel in their clarity and sparkle, lay my head on his chest to hear his heartbeat every day. He died in May at age 31. I'd give anything to wake up tomorrow and see his bright blue eyes. Edit. Oh my goodness, I wrote this at about 3 AM and then went to sleep. I had no idea it was cause this much attention. Thank you to everyone who has commented, sent me well wishes, and love, and thank you for all of the lovely awards. Not sure I deserve so much kindness, but I sure as hell appreciate it. He left our house walking, talking, and smiling back at me as he got into the ambulance, and less than 24 hours later I felt his heart stop under my hand. He was already sedated when I arrived at the hospital, so I'm not even sure he knew I was there, but I pray he did. No one deserves to think they are dying alone. He was the light of my life. Tell my grandma not to travel and I miss him more than even I can cover on Monday. Don't sweat the small always hurt you to how preventable it was in the end, and how long it rarely ever matters. Since I've seen her, love to you, I will always miss her. Edit. Was honestly not expecting much attention for this comment, but thank you everyone for your condolences and messages. Although she passed, she did everything she wanted to do in her final days and lived a long life, living to see her great grandchildren. I thank you all for the support. Backup 4.5 years of PhD research data before an accidental wipe removed all of it back in February. Edit. Wow, this blew up. Thanks for the kind people giving awards. I'm trying to respond to all the comments, but one thing I'll just mention here. Most of the data lost was work I published by then, so it would have been nice to keep the codes, but losing them wasn't a major loss, but one work was unpublished. Thankfully it was recent, so I was able to rewrite the code from memory and publish it 2 months ago, so the damage was mostly controlled. Thankfully, my professor is a very considerate person and didn't get PSS'd off as much as he could have, and now I back up everything religiously, so lesson learned without significant lasting damage, thankfully. Second edit, since my comment confused people, I'll explain what happened. It needed to upgrade the PC's firmware and ask me to back up everything before giving it to them. Since they would wipe the HDD, I copied everything to Dropbox, and once it copied only the subfolders, for some reason gave the green tick mark. That means copying was done, so I didn't double check and just gave it to them. I realized what happened later on, and by then they wiped the PC and turned the bits. So it was unrecoverable. Since my fiasco and quit her job, and maybe she will, but they will always back up the HDD of any PC before wiping it. Bleach, hand sanitizer, and masks. Don't spend money on the stupid stuff I spent it on last time. Sell stocks at the peak and start my company sooner. I'd tell my dad to go see his doctor. He got his cancer diagnosis in May. Might have had a better shot if they'd found it in January. Edit. Thank you so much for your well wishes, kind words and shiny badges, friends. I'm sorry for not replying to everyone, but it's nearly 3 AM now, and I'll head to bed. My dad is the most stubborn optimist, and I'll just follow his lead. Thanks again, and I hope the kindness you've shown me tonight comes back to you. Get in touch with my obgyn and tell him my son's going to be born with a heart condition, even though you won't be able to see anything on the scans at 10 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks and 28 weeks. Get in touch with pediatric cardiologists and specialists and give them as much information as I can remember, and hopefully do whatever I can to save his life. Eat right, rest more, take care of myself more. It's still accepted if he passed, but at least it would make me feel like I had done everything I could. Edit. Thank you everyone for your kind thoughts and words. I never expected my comment to get this much attention. It was just the first thing on my mind, and it's a desire that's so true of any parent who's lost a child that I had to speak it. I just wanted to say that I do know I did what I could, but it's so hard to ever step back and admit, okay, I did everything I could. As a parent, you just feel compelled to do anything you can, even against all human logic.